in line. I prayed for you before I called you mine. Oh, I can't believe it's true sometimes. Oh, I can't believe it's true. I get to love you. It's the best thing that I'll ever do. I get to love you. It's a promise I'm making to you. Whatever may come, your heart I will choose. Forever I'm yours, forever I do. I get to love you. I get to love you. The way you love, it changes who I am. I am undone. Nothing God wants again. Oh, I can't believe it's true sometimes. Oh, I can't believe it's true. I get to love you. It's the best thing that I'll ever do. I get to love you. It's a promise I'm making to you. Whatever may come, your heart I will choose. Forever I'm yours, forever I do. I get to love you. 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 And they say love is a journey, a promise that I'll never leave. And when it's too heavy to carry, remember this moment with me. I get to love you. I get to love you. I get to love you.
I still remember the first day that I saw you. It's very sorry. You were sweeping up the floors of Stater Brothers, and I wanted so badly to have the courage to talk to you. Then a month later, I found out that you liked me too. And in that moment, I felt as if time stood still, and I realized what true happiness felt like. I remember rushing into our first and second date and already thinking to myself, I know it's weird, but I think I'm falling in love with you. Except instead of thinking it, I actually said it out loud. Sorry. That would have been enough to scare any guy away. But you were never just any guy. Up until that moment, I was miserable and lost, and had long given up my dreams of my fairy tale ending. And then I met you, and my whole life changed. You took me in when I was broken. You listened to me during the times I was hard to listen to. You always knew the right thing to say to make my bad day turn around. But most of all, you became my best friend and the love of my life. I can definitely say that I wouldn't be the person I am today if it wasn't for your constant kindness, patience, and understanding. I was always scared that this was too good to be true. But here we are, almost 8 years later, and I'm saying my vows. Growing up, I always dreamt about how this day would be like, what love really felt like, and what my story was ultimately going to be. And I can tell you for a fact, being here right now with you is better than anything I could have ever made up. You are the perfect introvert to my extrovert, the Ross to my Rachel, the father of my puppies, and the only person who I can be completely vulnerable with and still feel safe. Every day with you has been my greatest adventure, and I can't wait to see what our future holds in store for us. I vow to always be there for you when work gets you down. I promise I'll try and hang my clothes rather than leave them on the floor. I promise I'll try and watch Game of Thrones with you despite my TV anxiety. I promise that nothing will be too much for us to handle as long as we have each other. But most of all, I promise that I'll never stop being in love with you.
Danielle, I can't believe this day has finally come. 8 years ago, you've changed my life in the greatest possible way. You're the most genuine, intelligent, and gorgeous woman I've ever met. And I'm lucky enough to say that you're my first and last love. Some people struggle their whole lives to find their soulmate, but I'm blessed enough to meet you when I was only 18. I'll never forget the first time I saw you. It really did feel like time stood still. I was so taken aback by your beauty and fantasized of how I'd eventually talk to you. And shout out to Paulette for playing matchmaker. Every conversation we had leading up to our first date made me fall more and more in love with you. I was so entranced by your beautiful and unique personality. I couldn't believe how radiant of a person you were, inside and out. On New Year's 2010, our second date, I knew that I never wanted to spend another day apart from you. You became the most important person in my life, and every aspect of our relationship just felt so effortless and natural. I knew we were truly meant to be. In 8 years, we've experienced and seen so much together, and I've cherished every single moment of our never-ending journey. We nursed each other through anxiety attacks, and we made each other laugh all night until we couldn't breathe. We've grown and evolved as a couple, shaping each other into the people we are today. I couldn't be more excited to see what the future holds for us. I promise to always be the sensitive, empathetic, and patient man you know and love. I promise to make you laugh every day and cheer you up whenever the world starts to feel too heavy. I promise to provide and take care of you and treat you like the queen you are from now until we're old and gray. And that means making hot Cheeto runs on moment's request. And most importantly, I promise to be your best friend and give you the lifetime supply of happiness that you deserve. These are my vows and declarations of love from the bottom of my heart. You're my soulmate, Danielle. There will never be another woman who brings as much joy and passion in my life as you. I love you more than life itself, and always will until the day I die. Danielle, with this ring, I'll love you and cherish you forever.
Brian, with this ring, I promise to love you forever.
I pronounce you two husband and wife. Have that fairy tale kiss now.
You look so wonderful in your dress. I love your hair like that. falls on the side of your neck, down your shoulders and back. We are surrounded by all of these lies, and people that talk too much. You got the kind of look in your eyes as if no one knows anything but us. Should this be the last thing I see, I want you to know it's enough for me. 'Cause all that you are is all that I'll ever need. I'm so in love, so in love, so in love, so in love. You look so beautiful in this light, your silhouette over me. The way it brings out the blue in your eyes is the Tenerife Sea. And all of the voices surrounding us here, they just fade out when you take a breath. Just say the word and now we'll disappear into the wilderness. Should this be the last thing I see, I want you to know it's enough for me. 'Cause all that you are is all that I'll ever need. I'm so in love. So
alright guys, now the moment you've all been waiting for.
So
we're gonna give it up for the bride and groom, Mr. and Mrs. Brian Upchurch. Bride and groom, everybody, that first dance.
Pretty sure I cried out all my tears during the ceremony, but in case I become incoherent, I'm so sorry. So I wanted to say, first of all, congratulations to Danielle and Brian for this wonderful wedding, and congratulations to Brian for entering this amazing family. But more seriously, I also wanted to say congratulations to Danielle for finding someone like Brian who loves and cares about her as much as he does. And thank you. And so when I was deciding what to say today, it took me a really long time to come up with what I wanted to talk about. And so I wanted to make sure it was something not too cliche or not too boring. So I decided to share some of my favorite memories. But when I started thinking about all the significant moments in Danielle's life, I thought maybe about when she and Brian first met or their first date. Or I thought maybe I should talk about something earlier, like her first kiss or her quinceañera, since that's when she's, I don't know, I guess supposed to be allowed to be married in Mexican culture or something. But but then I realized there are so many significant moments in Danielle's life that we all know about. But what about the insignificant moments? So being her sister, I was there for literally everything, all the behind the scenes, all the, not so pretty in front of the camera stuff, and all the times we went to Hometown Buffet or Soup Plantation or played Enemy Babies, our favorite game. And most importantly, filming Andrea's Kitchen, which was our cooking show. I'm reading. Oh yeah, and then also reenacting our favorite scenes from like El Dorado. But all the stupid games that we would play when we were younger, all the mundane things, wouldn't normally stick out to someone, but to me they were my favorite moments because it was during these times that I really got to see you grow. Oh God. And of course, I loved watching you grow up. But I hated that you matured faster than I did and you didn't want to play Barbies with me. But while you were growing up, you had to deal with a younger sister. And all of you guys who have ever talked to her about her childhood know that I was always that annoying younger sister who tagged along to everything, whether it be Tanya's house or Paulette's birthday. I always made sure that I was there. And I was always very, very excited about going to see all these cool and grown-up events with Danielle, even though to her, obviously, she hated it. But today, I get to be that annoying sister again and follow her to another cool grown-up event, her wedding. Oh my gosh. Oh God, I'm sorry. Oh God, okay. Pushing through. Okay, and so 15 years later, here I am again, tagging along to another grown-up event. I forced you to let me come. I forced you to let me be your maid of honor. I forced you to let me kick off the speeches. But at least now, I'm not just your annoying younger sister. I'm also Brian's annoying younger sister who made him do all these things too. So I wanted to say, welcome Brian to the family. My parents always wanted a boy. Too bad your name isn't Mario, but Brian is close enough. So here's to Danielle and Brian. Congratulations.
Hello, everyone. First off, I'd like to thank everyone for being out here tonight to help us celebrate Mr. and Mrs. Upchurch. And I would like to thank everyone involved for even helping to make tonight possible. So, by the way, Brian, I didn't hear myself in your vows, so you want to change that? I'm just kidding. No, but for those of you that don't know me, my name is Andrew. I'm one of Brian's best man, or best men. I don't know. I've known Brian for about 10 years now, since our days in San Diego High School, and he truly is one of my best friends. One of the most loyal persons I know. So smart, so handsome, so talented. But before I start to fall in love, seriously, you are an amazing guy, and I can't even begin to tell you guys all the memories that we have together. I mean, we hung out so much that we almost started looking alike. Every time we'd go to the mall, every time we'd enter a store, people would thought we were related somehow. They'd be like, "You guys brothers?" It was like, "Yeah." We eventually just gave up and we just went along with it. Like, are you guys cousins? Like, "Yeah, sure." "Are you guys boyfriends?" I'm like, "We sure are." But yeah, we've been through too much together for me to put it all together in one night. So I am very honored to be standing beside you guys tonight. And Danielle, you look so beautiful tonight, by the way. I suppose it would be generic of me to say, if not for a laugh, that you stole my man away from me. But the truth is, I am so happy that you came into his life, because not only have you been so good to my best friend here, and being there for him through thick and thin, but you've also been an incredible friend to me as well. And I am so happy to say that you mean as much to me as a friend as Brian does to me. So, if all you would join me for a toast. Brian, Danielle, I love you guys both so much, and I wish you many, many years of love and happiness. To the bride and groom, cheers!
Hi everyone, my name is Tanya Sanabria, for those of you who don't know me, and Danielle and I have been friends since the 3rd grade. I'm glad that I went to the wrong day of our Catholic after-school program when she waved at me. We have been close ever since. Like many of us, there have been many times Danielle has dropped everything to comfort me when I needed a shoulder to cry on. I was always down for a Lord of the Rings or Forensic Files marathon. And even though I've moved across country, her selfless and caring nature never wavered. When I was making life-changing decisions, Danielle was with me every step of the way, even when she was busy buying a house and planning a wedding. Many of us will agree that's how Danielle is, caring and always ready to listen. And no one else perfectly complements Danielle's nerdy and caring personality like Brian. I knew from the moment I met him he was everything Danielle was looking for and more. He has an equally big heart for both his friends and pets. Very good sense of humor since he laughs at my jokes. And Matt ambitiously working towards his goals and career. I would say that it's not one big moment that would sum up their love for each other, but a foundation of the little moments that I've had the privilege to observe. From their thoughtful, handcrafted gifts that they would exchange, to how Brian would call Danielle when he was halfway to Fresno to let her know he was safe. And I'm crying at this part because it's like how Danielle would wait until they could both watch a show together. And how Brian proposed to Danielle in a way she had always dreamed of, high above in a hot air balloon. It is these little moments that build a strong foundation for loving and long-lasting marriage. Danielle and Brian have grown together as individuals and as a couple, and will continue to grow together for the rest of their lives. I wish them many days of future happiness. And I would like everyone to raise their glass and say I would like to say congratulations to Mr. and Mrs. of Church. Woo!
Tengo dos excusas en mi mente para recortar mi día y a mi casa regresar. Son un par de mágicas princesas con pijamas y con trenzas que juegan a ser mamá. Ya se han dado cuenta que soy débil y con solo una sonrisa pueden todo conseguir. De mi corazón se han vuelto ellas y me alegran la existencia con solo en ellas pensar. Entre gimnasia y la tarea van creciendo muy deprisa. Ay, 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 las quisiera detener. Pero un día se irán de casa y entre sus cosas llevarán un pedazo de mi vida que jamás regresará. Mientras tanto quiero darles tantas cosas, quiero darles tanto amor, tanta atención y enseñarles cada día su importancia, su valor. Quiero cuidarles el corazón.
First and foremost, I want to say thanks to everyone who played a part in organizing this event, making sure it all went smoothly and beautifully. And that includes the bride and groom as well, who put together a lot of the stuff that surrounds us here tonight. So just a big thanks and round of applause to everyone who played a part. Brian Upchurch, my best friend, my brother. Me and Brian have been friends for the better part of a decade now, but we really became brothers about 8 years ago in the summer of 2009. It kind of blows my mind to think about how much we've grown in that time. Kicking off that summer, me and Brian were just lost souls dealing with broken hearts. After a summer of craziness, which included nearly blowing up Brian's car with a flaming tennis ball, yes, that really almost happened, and being part of a pretty surreal real-life novella that unfolded before all of our very eyes, me and Brian kind of grew past the dark place that we were both in and just found happiness getting lost without much direction or worries in our lives. But around the same time, that freedom was lost when we both got girlfriends. You know, I'll never forget the first time Brian told me about Danielle. I told him I was happy that his luck had turned around with girls, but I asked him to describe his new partner to me. And he said, her name's Danielle. She's funny, cool, we like the same music, she's cute, and, quote, she has curves in all the right places, man. And I said, that sounds like she's right up your alley, man. Immediately, right off the bat, the first time I met Danielle, I could just see the happiness in Brian's eyes whenever he was around her. And at the end of the day, making your best buddy happy is about as much as you can ask for. Little did I know, just a little while later, me and Danielle would get really close as well. I suppose that's what happens when you work a dead-end job together for 4 years. But through that, I grew to consider Danielle really a third sister for me. I felt like I've had a front row seat to their relationship through the years, and witnessing them be literally on their highest of highs and their lowest of lows together, and still seeing each and every day how real their bond is. It's a reminder that in a world filled with doubt and cynicism at times, that true love can really still exist. Cheers to them.
Good evening. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Paulette. For those of you who do know me, I'm sorry. Danielle has been my best friend since I was 11 years old. And for anyone keeping count, that's 16 years. And Danielle has played many roles in my life throughout those years, which include my therapist, my love guru, my #1 cheerleader, and even my Valentine when I didn't have one. She is the type of friend who wants to see you happy, and she will drive you to a job interview an hour away. She will drop everything and comfort you when your day just isn't going so great. And most importantly, she is a friend who refuses to give up on you. And I just couldn't feel luckier to have someone like her in my life. She is more than a friend, she's family. And Danielle, just like you focus on everybody else, I wanted someone who would focus on your needs. And Brian, I want to thank you so much for being that person. And I want to thank you for being so dedicated to her needs, for focusing on what she needs to take care of her, and most importantly, for making her happy. If you want an idea of how our relationship should be, look no further than Danielle and Brian. They act as two halves of a whole, two minds in sync who always think of each other before themselves. They are each other's best friends, not only because they tell each other everything, which they do. It's also the fact that you will never find two people more in love who just enjoy each other's company. Seeing the way they are together, I've learned a few things, and I'd like to share it with you. #1, hot Cheetos make a perfect gift for any occasion. #2, there is nothing you can't talk out. And #3, Danielle is always right. And that third rule doesn't only apply to Brian. That's a universal rule. And if she gives you advice and you choose not to take it, you're gonna have a bad time. Trust me on that. And my favorite story to tell of them is a story of how they met. I used to work with Brian at your local Stater Brothers. And Danielle used to take me every Friday to pick up my paycheck because that's just the type of friend she is. And every Friday when I would come downstairs from the office with my paycheck on hand, like clockwork, Brian would be there standing next to Danielle, mopping an invisible stain that was always there. And Brian would just be smitten with her, just staring at her. And this went on until Danielle told me that she had feelings for him. And now it was my turn to play a role. And that was matchmaker. And of course, that came with responsibilities, like making sure the exchange numbers talk about one to the other, and peeking through the cereal aisle just to make sure everything was going according to plan. We spent a lot of time at Stater Brothers. We were really young. But from that day on, I not only had one best friend, I had two. And I know what you're thinking, Paulette, that's still not a lot of friends. But I can reassure you, from experience, and I'm sure all of you have experienced the same thing as well, they are the best friends anyone can hope for. And I'm so lucky to have been in the front seat to experience you guys going through your trials and tribulations and coming out stronger, and not only stronger, but coming out loving each other more and just being so happy with each other and coming out just understanding each other more and more. And to see you guys here at your wedding, both glowing so brighter than ever, I can't help but want to take credit for how you guys met. And I would like us all to raise a glass in celebration of our two best friends and their happy reunion. And to Danielle and Brian, we wish you all love and laughter for as long as you guys live. To Danielle and Brian.
So, the very first moment I sat down to think about what I wanted to write for them, just thought and thought over and over. And the first thing that came to my mind was, oh crap, I only have 20 minutes before my brother gets married. Today is an amazing day, and you obviously have all made a special impact in Brian and Danielle's lives to be invited here today. Today is a special day for all of us. In case you haven't figured out yet, I'm Brian's shorter yet older sister, or twin. I know it's not very traditional for the sister of the groom to speak, but I always knew the day Brian got married, I had to say some words of love. Lucky for me, I've got to know Brian since he was born from day one. Brian and I aren't your typical siblings. We've never fought, we never picked on each other, although I did make Brian my unofficial sister at times. We always had so much fun together, and Brian was always awesome to do everything with. Whether he was teaching me how to play video games or Pokemon cards, I don't know. He made sure I never failed math. He always made sure I got very educated on that. I would make sure Brian knew every song to Backstreet Boys with me, so we can do our dance routines. We can sing along to Spice Girls. He had no choice. Watch Lizzie McGuire with me on the weekends. We would make forts. I would have him paint my nails, and I would make sure I got to paint his. You know. One of my favorite times was when we would build tree houses in public parks, and they would get torn down, and we just rebuild them right back up. Our mom would let us go to karate by ourselves when we were 8 years old. We would ride up Arrow on our scooters in our karate gear, but we wouldn't go to karate. We would go to the donut shop next door. And then that one time I told you can fly when you were 4 and you fell off the dresser and busted your teeth open. We didn't tell Mom until there's blood on the floor. Anyways, Brian, you've always been there for me, and I'll always be there for you. I'm so happy for the both of you. Danielle, you are perfect for Brian. Thank you for being so amazing and an amazing sister to me. Even from the very first weekend I met you, and encouraging me through all my struggles and encouraging me through all my triumphs. You're the perfect wife for my little bro. You're a beautiful example of what true love looks like. I'm so proud of you both and so excited to see the road ahead for you guys. So, I say you all lift your glasses. Cheers, please. Love bugs. Love you.
All kidding aside, let me start off by thanking my beautiful wife, Maria, for giving me my beautiful daughter, Danielle. I also want to thank my brother, Alfonso, and our sisters, Arcelia and Patty, for joining us here in this special celebration of my daughter. I thank all the guests that are here for taking time off your busy schedule on a Friday to attend this special event of my daughter. And special recognitions go to people that have gone from faraway places, like my compadre Jose and my comadre Maria from Sacramento, and our dear cousins from Mexico that flew in from Mexico, Carlos, Pati, Estela, that are here with us. I would also like to thank very much the Zoo and Tomita family for being such a support to my daughter and Brian all this long year leading up to the wedding. Since my daughter was a little girl, she dreamed of this day. She knew she would find her soulmate. What impressed me the most about Daniela is that she knew exactly the characteristics that she wanted in a man. She knew that whoever would not only be her husband, but would have to be her best friend, and also the future father of her children. That's why it's a very special moment for Daniela today. I am very, very proud of my daughter, not only because she knew exactly what she wanted since she was a little girl, but also because she's grown from an innocent child to a very mature adult. Brian, I've known you for almost 9 years. A very shy young adult when I met him. I've seen this young man mature into a wonderful man. He knows exactly how to compliment Daniela. He is responsible. I've watched him over the years. He is kind-hearted, and he has a very gentle spirit. I couldn't be more proud to welcome Brian with open arms into our family. You know, my wife and I have been married for 32 years. Some of the years have been very, very easy, and some not that easy, just like most marriages. In fact, most marriages or most relationships are no different than that. They go through a honeymoon period, and then they go through a reality stages or reality hits. And some relationships just call it quits after the reality stage hits. It's a lot easier to run away from conflict and turmoil, like I think Paulette was saying, than to meet it head on and to deal with learning the skills to resolve conflict and crisis. Yet to the extent that we learn to resolve conflict and turmoil will be the success of any marriage. And I'm very proud of Danielle and Brian that at every step of the way, they have learned these skills. You know, true love is when you grow old together and one day you tell the other person, you know, you see, you really were the true love of my life. Danielle and Brian, we wish you a life long of happiness, joy, and laughter. And now I would like everybody to stand up. Raise your glass and toast to the newlyweds, Danielle and Brian.
Oh yeah. 105 is the number that comes to my head when I think of all the years I wanna be with you. Wake up every morning with you in my bed. That's precisely what I plan to do. And you know one of these days when I get my money right, buy you say, will you marry me? I swear that I will mean it. I say, will you marry me? Sing it.
Who talks the most?
Oh yeah. How many girls in the world can make me feel like this? Baby, I don't ever plan to find out. The more I look, the more I find the reasons why. You're the love of my life. You know one of these days, when I get my money right, buy you everything and show you all the finer things in life. We'll forever be in love, so there ain't no need to rush. But one day I won't be able to ask you loud enough. I'll say, will you marry me? I swear that I will mean it. I say, will you marry me? And if I lost everything, in my heart it means nothing, 'cause I have you, girl, I have you. To get right down on bended knee, nothing else would ever be better, better. The day when I say, will you?
Who said, I love you first?
I say, will you marry me? I say, will you marry me? I swear that I will mean it. I say, will you?
Which one of you will fall asleep first tonight? Who's the dog?
Got me singing, got me singing. Would you marry me, baby? 105 is the number that comes to my head when I think of all the years I wanna be with you. Wake up every morning with you in my bed. That's precisely what I plan to do.